opportunity for us to be able to talk about the things that are important for you and your communities, but important for us as a province as well. And our goal at Municipal Affairs is to ensure that you have the tools necessary to achieve your goals and continue your outstanding work. Whether through legislation, funding, public safety, or promoting collaborative, accountable local government, we are always working towards one end. Strong communities that are economically sound, socially vibrant, and healthy and safe. Yesterday you heard Premier Prentice and his offer of a new relationship between our government and Alberta's municipalities. It's a relationship that can be based on respect for each other's knowledge and aspirations, an open sharing of information, opinions, and ideas, and the mutual desire to serve Albertans the best we can collectively. And as I say every day, our province is fortunate to be served by incredible municipal leaders. Each of you are hardworking women and men who serve with compassion, dedication, and vision. And Albertans are very lucky to have you as our leaders. And our government, too, is blessed to have such partners as together we engage in the vitally important work of building our provinces and our community's future. I look forward to working with you on a number of initiatives, including the ones that Premier Prentice has outlined in our mandate letters. In particular, the mandate letter of Municipal Affairs focuses on several topics that will help us reach our goals for strong municipalities. As a former Minister of Environment and Sustainable Resource Development, I'm all too familiar with the impacts of the 2013 floods in southern Alberta. But I've also had the privilege of seeing the province come together to recover and to rebuild. Our province, I'm so proud, mobilized quickly during the flooding in southern Alberta. Working together with you, our municipal leaders, and Albertans, within weeks we had residents who were displaced in temporary accommodations, had established the largest disaster recovery program in Canada's history, and we're well on our way to cleaning up impacted communities. Now, more than a year later, after the flood, we're looking forward to how we can make the province a safer place. And though not included in the wording of my mandate letter, recovering from the flood is a key priority for me and for our provincial government. We know there is still work to be done in communities most affected by the floods, such as High River and Calgary. And I'd like to quickly update you on a few important flood-related matters still managed by our ministry and share with you the details of an announcement that Premier Prentice made this morning. The first is the High River Long-Term Recovery Plan. As many of you know, High River was hit particularly hard by the floods. Approximately 13,000 people were evacuated and more than 3,000 homes were damaged or destroyed. There was also extensive damage to schools, local businesses, public infrastructure, and disruptions to health services. Ultimately, the situation in High River resulted in the first provincial state of emergency in our history, but together we responded quickly and provided the town with the funds and supports to begin recovery as soon as possible. This was and is a very difficult time for the High River and for its residents. But we are standing with them and support their recovery decisions along the way. I've had the opportunity to talk to Mayor Snodgrass and have assured him of that support that we have for him and for his community. That support includes supporting people recovering from the flood. That's why today we announced a tripling of DRP staff to process claims more quickly. This step will ensure we are putting forth our best efforts to resolve all current 2013 DRP appeals within 60 days. And we will ensure Albertans will get the compensation they're owed quickly and efficiently. And in particular, will help with some outstanding disaster recovery claims in High River and in Calgary. We are also working with communities, including High River, to develop a long-term vision that would help get them back to normal operating levels. Under the plan, High River will lead its long-term recovery, with the province offering guidance and administrative support until September 2018. Municipal Affairs also established a team in Southern Alberta to ensure communities in the region continue to be supported during their recovery. We expect this team to be in place for the next 2 years. In addition to flood recovery, government is also working hard to mitigate the possibility of future floods. To that end, this morning, our Premier announced commitments to additional flood mitigation projects, including the Highwood South Diversion in High River. An innovative route for the river option will be advanced in the Springbank area on the Elbow River. This will provide protection upstream for Calgary communities. And after a successful summer pilot program, we are concluding negotiations with TransAlta on the long-term management of the Ghost Reservoir to control both flood and drought conditions. In addition to previous mitigation work, these projects will help further protect communities from any future flooding. Another example of mitigation is the new floodway development regulation. In December, the government passed Bill 27, the Flood Recovery and Reconstruction Act. It included amendments to the MGA allowing for the creation of a regulation to restrict future development in a floodway. We knew this regulation would impact many communities, so we undertook significant stakeholder consultation. And we just wrapped up the second phase of consultations in the symposium in Red Deer. And we thank you for your input, and we're confident that the draft regulation that promotes public safety and minimizes property damage while still respecting the investments of Albertans. Together, we learned a lot from the floods, and together we're applying these lessons so we can better respond to future disasters. For example, we've increased the capacity of Alberta Management Agency field officers. We've doubled the officers to 18, including 14 regional officers and 4 First Nation officers. And just this morning, the Premier also announced that we've established a public safety committee. The committee, comprised of ministers, is intended to help respond more quickly and more effectively in times of emergencies. These changes directly support community resiliency and will be able to physically react faster before, during, and after events. And this is an important change. We know that months after a disaster, people's attention turns elsewhere, and we won't do that. That's why I'm pleased to say the new ministerial committee will also be tasked with long-term recovery efforts from the 2013 floods. But flood recovery and emergency management is just one part of the extensive work being done at Municipal Affairs. The ministry is hard at work at reviewing and updating with you, our partners, the Municipal Government Act. The current MGA came into effect in the mid-90s after 7 years of hard work. It was, and still is, considered a model for municipal legislation in Canada. But Alberta is changing and it's growing, and over the years we've received a lot of requests for amendments. In August of 2012, we initiated our review and set out our 3 primary goals: modernize the MGA, streamline and reorganize it, and review its one-size-fits-all approach. Over the past 6 months, we've undertaken significant stakeholder consultation in consultation with you, our municipal partners. We held more than 70 sessions across the province, which resulted in a list of more than 50 policy issues and options related to the MGA. To refine this list, we have held focus groups with specific stakeholders and you, our municipal partners. And of course, AUMA and AMD&C are our partners when it comes to the MGA, and the associations have been at the table for this consultation, including the focus groups, and we thank you for that because that is such an important process. The MGA, as you know, is our second largest piece of legislation, and it impacts the daily lives of everyone in this province. We're working hard to introduce these changes as soon as possible, but we have heard that you don't want a rush process. You want a process that gets it right, and we're listening to that concern. We're taking the time to ensure that implications of any proposed changes are fully understood and are fully discussed with you. And we'll make the transition to a modern, streamlined MGA as soon as possible with you, our municipal leaders. We also know that the province's tremendous growth impacts many of our communities. That is why we are working hard to ensure our largest urban centres have the tools they need as well to manage growth now and well into the future. So let's start with Calgary. The Calgary Metropolitan Plan was adopted by participating municipalities in June of 2014, which marks an important milestone for the Calgary Regional Partnership. Municipal Affairs is continuing to review the CMP and working closely with the regional partners to ensure efficient and effective growth in and around the Calgary area. And here in Edmonton, you may have noticed over the past week how much development is going on downtown. Mayor Iveson and his team need to be commended. This is a story all about and all around the capital region. And the province believes that solutions to growth pressures should be developed regionally and managed locally. To that end, we support the Capital Region Board's initiative in moving towards the establishment of an Economic Development Committee and the review of the Capital Region Growth Plan. And we're committed to providing core funding for the CRB for the 2014-15 fiscal year. Sticking with our two largest cities, I'm looking forward to the discussions to continue that I've started and to continue on a new big city partnership for Calgary and Edmonton. It will ensure the capacity of Alberta's largest cities to manage growth and allow them to work together to find new and better ways of delivering services and providing needed infrastructure. By exploring the Charter's concept, we will ensure our largest municipalities remain centres of excellence. And that legislative framework exists for cities to reach their full potential. The province recognizes that Calgary and Edmonton do have unique challenges, as do all municipalities. Everyone involved is committed to working together in a relationship of mutual respect, consultation, and cooperation on matters of mutual interest. As you can see, none of our work can be done without solid partnerships with Alberta's municipalities and our ministries all working together with you. So I'd like to talk about the collaboration throughout the province. Joint projects inspire innovative solutions and more efficient and creative, stronger communities. As of April 2014, the Alberta Community Partnership Program replaces the Regional Collaboration Program. All elements of RCP remain, but the ACP expands program eligibility and creates new funding opportunities. This includes funding for 2 or more municipalities to explore a regional approach to delivering services. Additionally, metropolitan funding allows larger municipalities to act as a significant service provider for their region. The budget for ACP in 2014-15 is $48.8 million, with plans to increase year over year. Interdependence builds efficiencies and provides citizens the best possible services. Complementing the ACP is a municipal sustainability initiative, as you all know. While the ACP supports planning and implementation for municipal service delivery at the regional level, MSI supports infrastructure needs. Together, they provide support for long-term local and regional priorities. And as many of you are aware, we remain, as a province, investing over $11 million in funding over the life of the MSI program. But we've heard concerns from some municipalities over the end of the MSI operating program, and we are looking at options to extend that phasing out of that program and working with you on the operational side. Any discussion that we have on the MSI itself and further funding, or on the MSI operational funding, will be with you, and we will work with you and include you with regards to those funding, as you are our partners at the table. We're also working very closely, as Minister Kevin talked this morning, with regards to the Building Canada Fund, and we want to get that done as quickly as possible, so that as quickly as possible we can get those dollars to you and out to your communities. So we also help build in our ministry. Library is an important part of our ministry as well, and we know building communities also help us in innovative ways, like the money that goes to support public libraries. As a former board member of the Yellowhead Regional Library, I know that libraries act as hubs for our communities. They engage, they inspire, and they inform citizens. We've done a lot of work together over the past year to make our network of libraries even better, and I thank our libraries for this. We've increased funding to improve SuperNet bandwidth and have begun investing in electronic content to make lending easier and more accessible. This includes access to content for print-disabled Albertans, as well as a wealth of resources in multiple languages. Overall, more than $31 million will go to support the provincial public library network in 2014. And together with our library board partners across the province, we will continue to make knowledge accessible to all Albertans in innovative ways, and I'm looking forward to working with all of you on this. This really is just a snapshot of the work that we're happening and doing in municipal affairs right now, and the work that we're doing with our partners, you at AUMA and at AMD&C. I can't say enough about how proud I am to work with you, about how proud I am at the work that we need to do with the mandate letter. But more importantly, I think the relationships that we will continue to build as we look at new funding opportunities for provinces, from the province to with the municipalities. You will always be at that table with us to help design that. You did a great job, and I remember being on the AUMA board with the team at that time with MSI as we look, as Premier talked about yesterday, funding to go over the coming years with regards to the municipalities. You will be there. When we bring legislative or regulatory changes, you will be there as our partners at the table with us. We are all orders of government, and we need to partner together, and I want to say thank you so much. First of all, Helen again for the reception, but to all of you, I am so truly looking forward to working with all of you and to visiting you all in your communities. Thank you very much, and travel safe.